is YFM.
Y1079 FM. My guest is in the building. And as always, if you're here for Y Leaderboard Series, the hashtag is Y Leaderboard Series on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. 020-222-2073 to get your questions in as well. Shouts going out to Casa Prep. Choco Malt for sponsoring us. Yep. Now today we're joined by an award-winning entrepreneur and philanthropist with a vast experience in event management. She's an MBA holder in international business and managing director of events consultants. Events and consultancy at Think Mahogany, a communications, events management, event styling, and photography, as well as production agency here in Ghana.
Let's go.
When we mentioned earlier that having the MD of Think Mahogany come through, a lot of people texted us. The events industry is like very big. Now you can't do anything without the event side, like outdooring, parties, birthday parties, even funerals are handled by these companies, and she's a pro when it comes to that. She's the founder of the Zero Hunger Ghana, a non-profit organization here in Ghana, working to ensure that people in Ghana have access to safe, healthy, and nutritious food. They need to achieve a zero hunger world. She's also co-founder at STAS, a non-profit organization in the UK and in Ghana, provides support for people affected with HIV, hepatitis, and mental health illness, as well as creating awareness to focus on reducing the stigma that comes with it. She holds the position of International Alumni Ambassador and Alumni Chapter President of Coventry University in the UK, Ghana, Madame Debra-Jane Nelson, Managing Director of Think Mahogany Events Consultancy and part of CEO of Zero Hunger Ghana is my guest today. So I'm sure you get people calling you Deborah.
And I absolutely hate it.
You hate it? I'm sorry, man.
They call me Deborah.
Yes.
And I remember one time I was at Leicester Hospital.
Yeah, at the airport?
At Airport Hills. And somebody said, "Oh, are you Deborah's sister?"
Are you serious?
I was like,
how does that even come in?
I'm like, yeah, so it's Debra-Jane.
Okay.
Deborah is just like Deborah.
Okay,
without
so it's like
the
Deborah.
O and H. So it's Debra-Jane. It's a double barrel.
Has that been the name since, or you
yeah, I
tweaked
was
it along
born.
the
No,
line?
I was born Debra-Jane Abla
Wow.
Nelson. Yeah, so my surname is Nelson, not Deborah.
Okay.
But it's okay. You're not the.
So you people always calling her Deborah's sister. Please allow us. I know after today people will stop calling you Madame Deborah. No, it's Deborah.
Deborah. Yes.
Like Deborah without
Not
the O.
the O. That's it.
Modernized Deborah. That's
Exactly.
it. I'm sure you had to deal with people calling you Deborah as well.
You know,
especially the adults.
yes. When I was in school, I went to Soul Clinic,
Okay.
international school, primary and JSS, and even St. Rose's. I was called Deborah for a very long time because when my dad, bless him, has very little tolerance and patience. So when they went to register me in school, and he told them my name is Debra-Jane, they wrote Deborah. He just didn't bother. Because people just didn't understand why there is no O and there's
It's a Ghana thing.
It's a Ghana thing, and he was just too tired of going over it. So he left it. So when I was in school, I was called Deborah
Throughout. And you didn't care.
Me too, I didn't care because
Like he had overdue.
Exactly. And my friends were calling me Debbie anyway, so it was okay. But when I was about to go to sixth form, it was important that I use the right name. So yeah.
That's where it stuck. I've also dealt with that myself. People don't understand why my Eskin is my first name. But Anita Eskin is Anita Eskin. That's her saying. Why is yours your first name? Like, I mean, I met this guys. Allow me. If you have questions, send it to my mom. She will answer all.
I actually also assumed the Eskin was your last name.
You see, that's why they're assuming that Deborah is your mother.
Assumptions.
My surname is White. Anyway, so let's go back to business. We're here to motivate the young ones. I tell my friends, this show is meant to push somebody out there. I know there's somebody out there in your field, somebody in your shoes right now who needs to know where you actually went to. I love one thing about this show, the fact that we go blunt. It's not always about that. People see Deborah, they see the brand, but they don't really know where the brand came from, the stress the brand had to go through, and so that's why we're here. Of course, we want to start off with where you were born here in Ghana. How was growing up like for you?
I was actually born in Pig Farm.
This Pig Farm?
Right here, yes. And I when I tell people I was born in Pig Farm and my mom was staying in a man called Alaji's compound house, people are like, huh? They can't relate. But yes, I was born in a very small hospital or clinic, somewhere around Pig Farm, Mamobi area. Yes, because my father at the time was working in Nigeria.
Okay.
So I was born there, and then we went to Nigeria. So growing up, I lived in Nigeria. So I would say that my first steps were in Nigeria. Then we moved to Togo. And then I was in Togo for 7 years. Then we moved to Ghana, and I was in Ghana for, I think, 9 years. Then we moved to UK, and I was in UK for 11 years. Then I moved back to Ghana, and I've been in Ghana for 12 years.
Wait, all these movements?
Yes.
And you're growing up?
Yes. So I'm very exposed.
Yeah. Were you able to make friends?
Of course.
Keep friends? Because
you would be surprised that I'm still very good friends with some of the people I went to ᴛʀᴜsᴜnᴇᴅ in Togo with.
Wow.
Soul Clinic, some of my very good friends up to now in Soul Clinic. Coming in here, I met one of my classmates outside from Soul Clinic, and then very good friends from ᴛʀᴜsᴛᴇᴅ. But I would say that my closest friends are those that I made from university, strangely enough.
in the UK?
In the UK, and they were mostly Ghanaian and Nigerians.
Okay.
So, yeah.
If you're to pick one of these countries, I mean your favorite country, per your experience, which one would it be? London, Ghana, Togo, Nigeria?
Oh, favorite would be Ghana.
Okay.
Definitely Ghana, except the inconveniences sometimes. I would pick UK because of the conveniences and the laws and how liberal they are and the opportunities. But Ghana, we are getting there eventually. We'll be there.
We'll be there. And I know Ghana is because of our jollof. She won't accept it, but our jollof plays a key role in that.
Well, people call me Mama Jollof for a reason.
I know.
Yes, I'm one of the curators of Jollof Rave, the annual Jollof event, Jollof and music events.
Deborah, tell us about the kind of child you were. Growing up, were you the quote-unquote smart kid in school? Were you the one that loved to initiate things at home? What kind of sibling were you?
What kind of sibling? Well, I'm the middle child surrounded by 2 boys.
Okay.
And so I have always been, and still I'm the tough one amongst them.
Okay.
My younger brother minds his business. My older brother tries to bully, but I won't allow him. So, yeah. So I think I'm the tough one. You know, there's something about middle kids. It's like you're not the firstborn and you're not the lastborn. So you're not anybody's favorite. So you just learn to cope and just, just do your thing. So whether you like me or not, hey, I get on with it. So, yeah. At home, when I'm not at home, everybody knows I'm not there. My father knows because I'm always blasting music from my room. Yes, I'm that type of person. Even up to now,
You still do it?
I'm always playing music. I can't do anything without music in the background. You will never catch me binging on Netflix or watching some TV series. No. You will see me on YouTube looking for the latest songs. Yes. So I'm always creating playlists. So at home, I was always the one making noise when it comes to music. You would hardly find me in the kitchen. Not because I can't cook, I just don't enjoy cooking. Even though I went to Flair Catering School, believe it or not.
Wow.
Yes. And at school, I had a lot of friends. Like, a lot of people knew me.
Yeah.
Up to now, a lot of people know me from school.
You look like a famous kid. Like, they know her.
They know her, but for the right reasons.
Yeah. Obviously.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think growing up, and because I wasn't mommy or daddy's favorite, I was aunties and cousins' favorite, I would say. So, yeah.
You were with them.
Yeah.
What inspired your childhood? I mean, back then, you just mentioned that you were like the one in between. A lot of attention didn't really come to you, but in keeping your path clear and clean towards where you wanted to go, what inspired you? Did you bring inspiration from people, from yourself? How did you build on that?
I wouldn't say that growing up was driven by inspiration. It was more like doing you have no option but to succeed kind of thing.
The urge to survive?
Yeah, the urge to survive. Moving to UK at the age of 14, it was just me and my younger brother who was at the time 10, and I was responsible for him. So my parents sent us off to go to school in the UK because it was time for me to go to sixth form. So I was fully responsible for him. And I had no choice but to become responsible and accountable, because as much as the responsibility was on me, I was still accountable to my parents on how both of us are doing. So it's like there was no room to dilly-dally. You just need to get on with it. So my growing up was really not based on inspiration. It was based on actual fact, like actuality. You need to get things done. You need to get it going, and that's it.
What career path did you dream towing? I mean, what did you want to become?
Growing up, when I was a child, honestly, when I was a child, I wanted to be a pilot for a very long time. And when I tell you this, you'll be like, one of my favorites, up to now, my favorite TV shows, even though I hardly watch TV, is Airline Crash Investigations. Don't even ask me why.
Serious?
Yes, on National Geographic Channel. I love watching how they're able to.
It fascinates you, right?
It fascinates me, like a plane that
black
crashed.
box.
And is in the ocean somewhere. They are still able to find out how this crash happened and react the whole
They
thing.
reenact with the whole dummy thing.
I'm telling you.
And you watch it, you feel as if you're in there.
Yes. And up to now, when I'm on aircrafts and I see people doing things that, like when they tell you turn off your phone or
And
put
people are
it
still
on,
on there
and
for
eat them my heart.
like, madam, turn it off for
I
us.
was like, yeah, they don't get it because I watch all these investigations. I know what these things can do.
People don't really care, you know.
Yeah, and I get so edgy. But yeah, but then I was told, one thing that growing up then, I felt like we didn't have a lot of career days and we didn't have real, when I was a child. Now that's changed.
Yeah.
But when I was in school, which a lot of people think I'm much younger than I am. I'm almost 40. So I went to school a very long time ago.
I was going to keep that away from us, but since you mentioned.
Yes. So when I was in school, we didn't really have a lot of career days, and our choices in picking secondary school courses and all that wasn't really driven by what we really wanted to be in future. So if we had that option, then maybe I could still be a pilot. But one of the reasons why I was told to pick general arts was because of my character, as opposed to maybe what I wanted to be. Because to be a pilot, then I should have done physics, mathematics, engineering, exactly. But I was pushed into the arts because obviously maybe I was always blasting music and I was loud.
It's like character driven.
Yeah.
You look like you can do performing arts. You look like you can do this. So
but I'm actually very shy. I'm actually very
But I mean,
shy.
you and I are sitting here today because
but
of
it's just
that decision.
us.
That decision,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I came into this by chance.
By chance, right?
Yeah. I wanted to be a pilot. Then I was moved into arts. So I was just doing arts. I didn't know any better. But I knew. And then also I was told that people who wear glasses cannot be pilots. Yes, growing up. And I've been wearing glasses since I was 8 years old. So that was that. But recently somebody said you can still take
Don't you think we
lessons.
can change that?
I know a lot of pilots who wear glasses.
Yeah. I'm actually thinking, I'm getting mad right now because of that.
Yes, I was told that as well. But yeah, and then after when I went to sixth form, and my father was asking me, what course do you want to do? I said, I want to do business. He said, why? And I said, because I want to make money. He just laughed. And then I went to do business. But after sixth form, when I was choosing my university course, I actually chose to do music business management at Westminster University because I've always wanted to be, at that time, an artist and repertoire manager.
A&R.
Discovering talent, pushing talent. So, but it was also at the time that it was the millennium, IT was,
was taking over.
Yeah. So I just had to make a wise decision. I did apply for music, but then I took a year out and I worked for IBM. And then I thought it was safer to do IT. So I went to Coventry and did business IT instead of music business. And then after that, I did an MBA, worked for a few years and came back to Ghana.
We still have to break down that bit. I mean, your days out there studying, but still on your childhood and growing up. You went to St. Rose's.
Yes.
And your face lit up when you mentioned St. Rose's. Tell us about your days out there. Who were your classmates? What kind of students were you there as well?
St. Rose's. Okay, so I'm a brown check. When I say brown check, you know, what that means. I'm a brown check from Central, and funny enough, I'm currently the national organizing secretary. So I'm one of the executives doing their PR. So I manage their social media and stuff, trying to put Rosa out there with the rest of my team. I left ᴛᴜsᴛᴇᴅ, finished 1999. And when I was in ᴛᴜsᴛ, well, some of my classmates from ᴛᴜsᴛ, ğʀᴏᴜ, I don't know if you know ģʀᴜ, was my classmate. Planet Ghana, Gloria was my classmate. My seniors, Talata. So a lot of creatives came from ᴛᴜsᴛ. Sandra Donatha, who does makeup. So yeah, we have a lot of great artistic people from ᴛᴜsᴛ. Growing up in ᴛᴜsᴛ, I laughed and I smiled because I remember one thing about me is whenever they punish any of my friends for anything, I would take on the punishments with them. So if they were punishing, let's say my friend Sawa Makoine, who is actually a musician now, Sue, SSUE, she got married recently to a music producer, Mo Beats. Yeah. So, for instance, if Sawa did something and they punished Sawa
to go and weed,
you join her. I'll join her. I'll weed with her because that's our opportunity to actually have fun. We'll be laughing, we'll be talking, we'll be gossiping because you can't do that in class. So this is like our escape. So every time they punish Mami Prengo, when they punish Mami Prengo, I'll take my cutlass and I'll go and help them. I made fun out of it. So I think that is me generally. I try and make the best out of every situation, whether good or bad. I just look at the positive side and make the best out of it. So, yeah.
Basically, that was it out there. Did you have a nickname at St. Rose's?
Funny enough, no. My brothers called me Debbie.
Just kept Debbie on the side.
Yes.
What other stuff were you involved in apart from defending your friends? Did you do sports?
Obviously, I used to throw the javelin.
Okay.
Clearly, if you look at my physique, I wasn't running for the school. So, I used to throw the javelin. And one day when I came home and I said to Dad, I threw the javelin at Central. He looked at me like in shock. Like, how did you even end up there? But my father is very sportive. He used to play football in the UK. And growing up, he tried to get me to play tennis, but I wasn't interested. But what I was actually very interested in, I was very good at, I used to go for ballet. Ballet dancing. And most of my childhood years, I was doing ballet and dance aerobics class. And we used to perform at the National Theatre in Togo. And growing up, my big brother was like my superhero. Oh my God, like I loved that guy. And I remember one time we went to ballet and we were performing on this stage, and this guy was in the crowd calling my name, cheering me on.
That's my G right there.
Yeah, and I was like, oh wow, if everybody had such a fan, a big fan, like the world would be such a better place. And I remember one time, one of these performances, during the break, all I saw was my big brother and his best friend jump from the crowd onto the stage and started dancing.
That's massive support.
The support system was crazy. Yeah. So, sometimes now when we've all grown into adults, my brother's like 47. He'll do things to annoy me. He will make certain choices that annoys all of us. But then it's just childhood memories that make me think, what?
Keep everything together.
Yeah, it's just a phase. Yeah.
Just pass through it. With all that said, I was going to get to that a little bit later, but what role does family play in your existence now, even now?
I grew up in a nuclear family, so it was just me, mom, dad, and my siblings. If any extended family wasn't that many, cousins and stuff would come and go, but it's like we've grown up knowing that all we have is each other, and my parents are very supportive, and I thank God that they are still alive. I'm actually one of the few that would say that my parents are both alive and my parents are still married. It's very strange now to see a lot of parents married or parents alive, and watching them grow older and older. Just yesterday I was saying to somebody that I feel very fortunate that I'm part of their life. Watching my father getting very weak now and fragile is also teaching me one thing, to be a bit more patient in dealing with them, they would ask for things, and I get easily agitated, and then I just have to remember, Debbie, you're even lucky that they are here to be asking you to do these things for them. So, and they were very liberal in sense of they would allow you to pursue whatever dream that you wanted to be. My father would not force you to be a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer. My younger brother pursued a career in animation, so he's currently one of the storyboarders for Disney. And I decided to do what I did, IT, but now I'm doing events. And you would think that, okay, they've paid for you to go to school, you've done an MBA and all this, and then you're telling them you're doing jollof rave, you know. So they would allow you to do what you want to do. They would push you, they would support you, just that you know not to make the wrong
decisions.
Yeah, so
like it all falls on you.
So that I would say has been very helpful to all of us in the things that we do. It has allowed us to become who we are. If I was forced to do something else, I wouldn't be Debra-Jane that, you know, I've even trained over 200 people to pursue careers in events. I am me. I'm doing the things that I do. I'm here today because I am me. It was just not by chance. And if my parents didn't give me the opportunity to do that, I won't be where I am today.
Where you are today. Wise words. Really love that. 34 after 10, Y1079 FM. Guys, if you have any question for Debra-Jane, she's right here with us, 02022-22073. Get yours in, all right? Feel free and be a part of the conversation. Also, we're streaming live on Facebook. If you're watching us now, shout's going out to you. Kindly click on the share button. Let's share it for our friends and family members to watch as well. Deborah, in between completion of university and then the commencement of your MBA studies, what kept you busy out there?
When I finished university, I went straight on to do my MBA.
Okay.
I didn't want to take any more time out because after sixth form, I took time out. I took a year out after sixth form to go to uni. So already I lost out on 1 year. And that is only because I wasn't really sure if I still wanted to do music business management or business and IT. So I wanted to be sure, and to be sure, I wanted to actually try working for an IT company, and I was blessed enough to get a job with IBM. So then I knew, okay, I could do it. I went on to university. Again, I should have done my first degree in 3 years, but I did it in 4 years because, again, I was blessed enough to be one of the few who got a placement opportunity. So I got placement to work for a year with Kodak Dental Systems.
Nice.
Now, again, IT, Kodak. A lot of people don't know that the X-ray machines and things that the dentists use
are produced by them.
Were produced by Kodak, the people who do cameras. Photographic camera. Back in the day before Canon and all that, it was Kodak. It was Kodak, Yeah, so again, I got that opportunity. So that was 2 years work experience in IT, which took out of my education time. And so when I finished my first degree, I thought I will not take another year out. I know what I want to do. So as soon as I finished my first degree in 2004, I went straight on to do my MBA at the same university, Coventry University. But this time, I decided to just focus on business and international business specifically because I knew I would come back home.
Were you at any point denied access to anything you wanted to do? It all sounds as if everything worked perfectly for you. Did you try things that people don't know about? Maybe you tried picking up a class and then you were denied along the line or something?
You know, like this is such an interesting question, and this is a question that has actually got me thinking. And on the spot, you know what, I have done a lot of disfavor to God. I have not thanked God enough. This thing you said have actually made me feel like I haven't said thank you enough to God, because I've never even thought about it until you mention it. Nothing I've said to God, God, I want to do this. Nothing, absolutely nothing I have set my mind to do has been a failure. And that is also because before I do anything, I actually really pray about it. Before moving to Ghana, I fasted about it. I you know, one thing that I always say here in Ghana is a lot of people judge us by our looks.
That's true.
And I've had that throughout my life. Even when I moved back to Ghana, I was working for MedLab, and then from MedLab, I moved to Ericsson at Gulf House, ᴀᴜ. And people always assume I'm something else. Based on my skin tone, based on my love for maybe tattoos and piercings. People make so much assumptions based on how you look. They don't give you the opportunity to speak. And when I say to people that I actually did Christian theology at some point in my life, they're looking at me as shocked as you are looking at me.
Wow. You studied all that?
Yes, you are looking at me like, huh?
That's for how long?
I did it for a year. I did Christian theology.
You're good with your quotations.
You know what? One thing about me though is I'm not very good at memorizing.
Okay.
I'm not very good at
But you still have a flair. I mean,
yes.
You know where to place what.
Yes.
When it comes to it.
So I did Christian theology with Milton Keynes Christian College. And she's now a bishop at Action Chapel, Bishop Reverend Dr. Susan Inti. It was her church that I used to go to. So she really pushed me when it came to my Christianity, because I grew up a Catholic. But obviously she's charismatic. So I went to Catholic schools. I'm still a Catholic, but tell me that Empowerment is doing all night, I'll be there. ICGC is doing something, I'll be there.
I like that.
Yes. So
we're two of the same though. I was also born and raised a Catholic, baptized in there, but I don't play with my church. I'll go to Empowerment. I'll go to Pastor Bwedi. What's Bwedi's church? Maker's House.
Maker's House. That's in Kwaminya.
Yes, that's because it's my wife's church. So I'm just pastoring.
But another guy whose church I go to is Oracle. We used to have church service up here in the cinema.
I remember. It was up there.
Sundays.
The first studio just right by the studio up there where YFM used to be. Yeah, they would do some nice tall pastor.
Yeah, we used to. So we used to. Prophet Fred, the Oracle. So I used to come to church because I did his wedding actually many years ago.
Okay.
So I would go everywhere, but I'm actually from Christ the King.
Okay.
I would go everywhere. So a lot of my decisions are really prayer guided, and so a lot of things that I actually pursue, I pray about, and after praying, I'm very confident that it would work. That doesn't mean that everything just like you're making it seem like everything just falls in place so graciously, effortlessly. No. It's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of sleepless nights. Like I'm a walking zombie.
Allah.
I don't sleep more than 3 hours every night, and that has affected my health a lot. Because there's so much to do, so little time. There are not enough hours in a day. But it's not as easy as you made it sound. But
well, you have made it easy. Reading, guys, this is the truth, right? So I literally had to cut a bit of her achievements off. When I was reading her intro, I wanted to just lay some down because there are too many. You look at her, and she mentioned that people think she's younger than her age, but she actually has more to her age than people think. But it's all by the grace of God.
Yeah.
Anyways, I want to find out from you, okay? Do you remember the first job you had?
Yes, like yesterday. I was 16. And I only want to apply for that job because at the age of 60, everybody had to apply for a job in UK. And I remember at that time, my grandmother came to visit us. And my first job was with a company called Woolworths. I think Ghana had one as well.
One up here at the airport.
Didn't they close it down?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah. So it was a company called Woolworths. They sold everything like food, clothing, toys, stationery, everything. So my first job was with Woolworths. I was on the till at the cashier, and my grandmother was so nervous about me going out there to work. She would actually walk me to work, and we were only allowed to do like 3 hours a day, and no more than 15 hours a week at the age of 16 and being a full-time student. So she would actually walk me to work and sit outside the job.
Wait for you for 3 hours to work and close.
To finish and we close, and she would walk back home with me. My first job was with Woolworth. I was working at the cashier. So when I walk into the ShopRites and Koalas and things, and I'm dealing with the cashiers, I always remember, once upon a time that was me. So I tried to be as polite
as possible,
as kind as possible. And even though here they will take their sweet time to scan and bag your things, I'm like thinking, okay, we should have been done 10 minutes ago.
Just bag it fast.
Yeah, but it just, one thing in Ghana I can't deal with, there's no urgency to anything.
I think people feel whatever happens, it will be done.
Yeah, but that attitude kills me, drives me crazy. When you're walking in the mall, oh my God, it's like you're in a museum or an art exhibition. Nobody's moving. I'm thinking, I'm just trying to get into ShopRite and out as quickly as possible. But that attitude, that slow walking and...
You see the thing? That's what some people also like about Ghana. The fact that there's no pressure here.
Okay.
In as much as people are in a hurry, they try to calm down.
Wow.
You and I will attest to the fact that, I tell people when you're in New York, these are tourists walking, but they're walking as if they're being chased. And then you come to Ghana and you're like, okay, are we not going anywhere?
Yeah.
But then, we still get things done. I mean, that's us. That's what makes us special.
Nah, man.
What was your first salary?
Oh, my God.
How much was your first salary?
My worst salary, though, I would say that is actually my adulthood when I moved to Ghana. It was like a shock to my system. In UK, I think I started on like maybe £3 something an hour for that job. And obviously, as I worked and qualified in school, it got better. But then I moved to Ghana. I was so desperate to get a job because this move to Ghana was even against everybody else's will. But I thought, I'll do it. So I had to prove to everybody that I said I would do it, so I'm going to do it. So I was here alone. Everybody was abroad but me. I got a job at MedLab, and this woman said she'll pay me 700 cedis a month. And I'm thinking, 700 cedis a month. I have an MBA, so many years of working experience, exposure. You want to give me 700 cedis a month? My petrol for the month alone is like 400 cedis. And then my lunch coming here 5 days a week, 20 days a month, even if I don't spend so much, 10 cedis for lunch, even if. That minimum. What can I even eat for 10 cedis, And I did that. That's 200 cedis gone.
Yeah.
And then I'm earning 700 cedis. 400 is so I have 100 cedis. I'll do my hair every week. I'll do my nails every 3 weeks. I'll pay tithes.
Yeah.
Like how?
And you have to save some as well.
Forget about saving. There's no saving in this equation. I have to pay for electricity, water, like phone calls. How am I supposed to survive on 700 cedis? Yeah, but I took that 700 cedis diligently and worked very hard.
For how many months?
6 months.
Wow.
I did it from June 2009 to December 2009, and I was like, no, maybe I'm better off going back to Ghana, to UK. And again, January, I resigned, I packed my bags, and like, I'm going. I cannot come and kill myself. I said I'm coming, I am going. But I prayed again, and God was like, no, you don't give up like that,
I brought you here for a purpose.
I brought you here for a purpose. You just don't give up. So I just took a holiday. I went away, and I came back. I was out of a job now. I was still looking for a job. And that is how the mahogany thing started.
Yeah.
So in January, I went to UK, came back beginning of February, and I was looking for a job. I was still applying. And once I was home, a friend of mine who knew when I was working at MedLab said to me, I have a friend who is about to do an event and he needs help with the errands. Do you mind helping him? Because obviously when I was at MedLab, I used to do most of their events, most of their marketing stuff. And I said, sure, why not? So I helped this guy put together an event in February 2010. And March, we executed the event. My very first event was on the 6th of March 2010. I remember that day so well. 6th of March 2010 was my very first event.
It was Independence Day, right?
Independence Day, and that was the beginning of Think Mahogany. Everybody at the event, you did this, you did this, you did this, and then it started from there. But I was still looking for a job because I never set out to go into events.
You never really saw it as a job.
It wasn't even, I was just doing it to help. I wasn't doing anything at home. I was just doing it to help. So then I landed a job at Ericsson, one of the world-leading telecommunication companies, and they are still based in Gulf House at ᴛʀᴜsᴛ. And I was working there, but I put those pictures from that event on Facebook. At the time, it was Facebook. I've always been big on social media. I saw
your Instagram numbers. I'm like, superstar.
Oh, please. Yeah, so I was working at Ericsson, but I was still very active on social media, and I was getting more and more events from that. And at the time, there were a lot of event decorators, but there were not necessarily event planners. people would assume that because you did the decor, you do all the runarounds. So that's what gave me the idea. You know what? And I would say, and everybody in the events industry would testify that I actually started event coordination as a service on its own. Because I was getting all these gigs, and they would expect that after I finished doing the decor, and again, I never went to decor school or anything. A lot of it I learned on my own. And now I'm actually training people. How ironic is that? So, and then, and I was like, no, I cannot come and do your decor, and then you expect me to be the one chasing the cake lady and the caterer and making sure people are being served and all that. That wasn't the agreement. So clearly I saw that there was a market for that people were not tapping into. So I separated that. So if you want my service for decor, I'll do decor. If you want my service to coordinate, I would coordinate. If you want me to do both, I would. So Mahogany was just growing and growing. I didn't even have a name for it. I was just doing it. And then, again, back to this thing that a lot of the youth need to realize that it's actually very important to take your faith and Christian life very important. If you are Islamic, very good.
Focus on that. Take
Focus
it
on that.
well.
Whatever religion that you belong to, it is very important. You need to belong somewhere. You cannot just be floating. You need to believe in something. That is what is probably going to drive most of the decisions that you're going to make.
True.
So if you want to be a tribalistic, entirely up to you. I would not force anybody to be a Christian or a Muslim or anything. What you believe is working for you, go for that. But as a Christian, I can speak as a Christian. And for me, being a Christian has been the source of most of my wins.
It's been the foundation.
Yeah. And so again, I was like, okay, maybe this event thing, I need to take it seriously, because the way I'm getting gigs, I will be at Ericsson. I'll get a phone call from a bride who will drive all the way to Golf House in my lunch hour to come and sit with me. You know, people were moving to me. I wasn't even moving to people. And that's God's favor. When people are moving to you, you don't even have to move to them. You know, people are moving to me at my employer's premises. So I knew that it was time to move as well. And I prayed about, I'm like, okay, God, if this is for me, let me know. I fasted that week. And that Monday, I remember I went to Apostle Leon's Monday night prayer. At the time, they used to do it in Roman Ridge, 2 doors away from M Plaza Hotel, from where I used to work. And I remember that Monday, this one had never called me in front to prophesy anything to me. So, and I've never really even had a conversation with them. I'm usually the type, I just like to be in the background. You know, even when I'm doing my events, you won't see me in the front, you know. I'm in the back making sure things are happening. So, and then this man called me, and it was something I was fasting and praying about. She calls me into the front. Oh my God. And that time I was there with my boyfriend. And I was like, yeah, this one should come and say anything. And even for this boy to be like, hey.
This is what you've been doing.
So I was like, oh my God. I was so nervous. So she called me to the front. And when she called me, she only said one thing to me. And I was like, oh my God, this is God of mine. All this woman said to me was, young lady, God said to tell you your business is here to stay. I was in shock. Like,
you had that assurance.
Yeah, and that's all I needed. So even now, when it's hard, when you're not getting paid and you have to pay workers, you have to pay shop rent, you have to pay electricity, you have to pay bills. Look, GRA and the rest, I don't think they know that there's COVID and you are doing events, because they will still bring you bills. Like, AMA is constantly knocking that we should still pay the BOP, business operation permits. I'm thinking, I'm not even doing events. Where are you expecting me to get all this money to keep paying all these things? It's like, yeah, but the reality is these bills are still there to be paid. And, you know, when the woman said this to me, I was like, okay. So up to now, as hard as it is, and as much as your staff will not even appreciate your efforts, like I recently did a staff appraisal, and this girl is saying to me that, oh, she doesn't feel like she's getting any incentive or motivation because when they do events, I don't pay them extra. And I'm thinking, I pay you every month, whether we do events or not.
You pay them what's due them.
Exactly. A reward is for the work you're doing.
Yes.
You know?
Not beyond what you're doing.
And if you are working for an events company, that your salary is coming from the events the company is doing. So if the company is not doing events, and yet this woman is still finding money to pay you, is that not motivation and incentive enough? But you want me to have pay you every month, whether I'm working or not, and the month that I actually get money, you want me to give you extra, forgetting that I'm already in debt.
Yes, and they're even months ahead.
And I'm like, you see, the mentality, and that is why I'm always saying that everybody needs an entrepreneurial spirit. Even if you want to be a doctor, you want to be a lawyer, very good. But that entrepreneurial spirit is what is going to help you to succeed in whatever career path you find yourself. That mentality of, oh, I'm just going to do what I have to do at the end of the month, I'm going to get paid, life goes on, is the wrong attitude. And people with that sort of attitude, when you get fired today, tomorrow you are doomed. Because you are never in survival mode.
Yep.
You're very complacent. You're like, you're just there. So I'm always teaching people that we are not all born to be entrepreneurs. We can't all be entrepreneurs. And the entrepreneurial journey is not even for the meek. It's not a joke. Nothing you do is enough for your staff. Let's put that one aside. And then your clients expect more. First of all, they don't even value you enough. And they expect more for so little.
Yeah.
But it's up to you to prove yourself. So then you have that as well. Another thing I was arguing with my staff the other day, I was like, I'm the boss. I'm the one looking for the business to be able to pay you. I'm the one making sure the clients are happy. I'm constantly micromanaging you. And then I also have to find content on social media to make the company attractive enough for people to want to use me. Why am I the one constantly thinking about all these things? You give them work to do during the day, it will be full of flaws. So then when they go to bed at night and they are sleeping, you are up fixing their flaws before you even do what you have to do. It's like, it's never ending.
Deborah, would you describe these things you just mentioned as the main challenges you face in this industry, in the line of your duty?
The main challenges I face in my line of duty, apart from that...
These aside,
vendors. A lot of people do not see their craft as anything worthy of professionalism. The carpenter is doing what he's doing. But I'm like, do you know what? You can actually put so much value on that thing you're doing and make it such a professional service that even when we are coming to pay you to join two pieces of wood, we will respect ourselves when we are coming. You know, people don't place value on their craft. And that even is something that bothers me a lot. I think a lot of us would be better off if we put value on our craft. And we are not just doing it because we are doing it. You know, even the way we brand ourselves. If I was in a line and there were maybe 5 people holding pure water on their heads, and I want to buy 1 sachet of water, I'll look at the 5 and I'll pick one. It's not by luck that I'm picking one. It's maybe the way they are dressed.
It's an informed decision.
It's an informed decision. How neat is this woman? Is she rubbing her child's runny nose while selling the water? You know, or is she very nicely dressed? She has a face mask on. Definitely, I'll go for her. So it's the way we even brand ourselves. It's the way we present ourselves, you know. A lot of people will not use Think Mahogany simply because they say, hey, no, they look expensive. Why do I look expensive? I look the parts. A lot of people are just threatened by how strong your brand is. Recently, that made me even put out the cost of my services. I just decided, you know, I'm going to put how much I charge on social media.
Just so they even know before they come closer.
So many people were actually sending me a message, oh my God, I thought you were more expensive than you are. Oh my God, so why do people say this about you? Oh my God, I thank you for the clarity. They will never even gather the courage to ask if they can afford you. They assume they can't afford you simply based on the way you brand yourself. You know, and I even had that issue with the GRA. They refused to accept how much I said I was making simply, and they opened their mouth to tell me simply based on my social media. I was in shock. I'm like,
Jen
why?
actually said that?
Yeah, they did. I will not be on radio saying this if they didn't.
Okay.
Another thing, my workers know this, that one thing I dislike, my friends, my family, everybody knows this, I dislike dishonesty. One thing that I hate is a strong word, so I would know it, but I detest
You detested.
the use of lies to get things done. Dishonesty, so even one of our company values is honesty, operating in a culture of honesty. If you didn't see it, don't say you saw it. If you didn't hear it, don't say you heard it. Speak only if it's the truth, and that is me. I hate lies. That's, no, I can't, and I'm like, why do we have to always cheapen our brand before it would be attractive to you? No, I wouldn't do that. That is why there are luxury brands like Mercedes and things. They'll stay luxurious because of the kind of people they want to attract. But I don't see why I should work so hard just to present something that I'm working hard. I don't even understand it. I can't phantom it, So I just feel like people should just up their game when it comes to branding.
And of course, delivering their services as well.
Yeah.
Makes them stand out.
Another thing, some people are very good at branding, and then you go and
they won't do the work for you.
The work you're getting is not what they're showcasing.
You have been one of the, rightfully said, the pioneer in having event coordination and organization as a service on its own. You've been in the business for a while. These days, you look at people join the industry, people deliver similar services. Do you think we're far away from the ideal, the goal you set, where you actually wanted to send the whole industry to? Are people in line with it?
I think a lot of people are in line with it. Like I said again, I'm blessed to say that Events Masterclass has been able to train over 200 event professionals. And when I look at the work these young ladies and guys are doing, I'm like, I give myself a tap on the shoulder, like, oh wow, I've done well.
Yeah.
Even when you go on their social media, their professionalism, their approach, their branding, their approach to things, I'm like, I started something right.
That's true.
And even like when I came in here, the first thing I said to you was congratulations on your trendy wedding. And you were like, you were not expecting that.
I wasn't expecting that, honestly.
Yes, Daniela was one of my students, and even up to now, when I have certain events, I call her on board, and I employ her services as well for my clients. So Daniela is doing a great job. Norbert, like I said, is my business partner, and so we share a lot of ideas. We do Jollof Rave together. He helps me with Zero Hunger, So the network that even being who I am, being Think Mahogany and running master classes has actually opened a very broad network for me. Because as much as I'm teaching these people have also created opportunities for me.
Yeah.
So, and when I see the work that there's so many, I don't want to be here mentioning their names in case I forget to mention somebody's name and they'll be attacking me on WhatsApp. Madam, you didn't mention my name. I will not mention names, but yes, they are doing a marvelous job. And if they keep it, and I always tell them, if your social media is lit, let your service be equally lit. Don't let your social media be lit, and then when people come and employ your services, it will be a disaster. So, yeah.
What kind of preparation did you put in place before you started Think Mahogany? You just told us the story behind where the inspiration came from, the kind of sacrifices that you had to make. But financially, organizing, I mean, you obviously had to start with a team. What sort of preparation did you go through?
I told you that I started by fluke. It wasn't because I planned to set out to be an event. I was still working for a very long time, for at least another 2 years before I left my job. So when it came to what sort of team, so first I was, my friend Michelle mentioned this to me. I wasn't an entrepreneur. I was a solopreneur at the time. So yes, I was a solopreneur. I was a one man doing my thing. So a lot of people, again, please, there is a word called solopreneur. If you are a one person now trying to figure your way around. So yeah, when I was a solopreneur, I was doing a lot by myself. And I don't know how things got in place again. I don't even know, but some way, somehow, I was meeting people that could help me. Decorators that could help me, waiters that were able to, they have transferable skills, so they were able to under plates for me, fold napkins for me. So that's how it really started. Then I started building my own team.
Yeah.
And as I was building my own team, I'm somebody that I'm never afraid to fire.
You let them go.
Oh, I'll let you go in a heartbeat. I will. Because I always remember that my business is here to stay. I've stayed awake too many nights. I have fasted too many days to have one person come and ruin it for me.
In one moment.
In one moment. I will not allow it. So, yeah. So firing, for me, it's not a big deal. If you are not in alignment with the vision, I'm going to let you go.
You're going to let them go.
I'll get somebody else. And knowing how God works, I know eventually I would have the right people. And I'll tell you what, right now, the people that I have, because there's been a time where I was paying like 17 people every month. But was I getting value for 17 people every month? No. Then now, I know that the people I have now, all the bad nuts have dropped off. The people I have now, I know in my heart of hearts that they are who are meant to be with me. And I value them. That doesn't mean that when they do something wrong, I don't say anything because I'm afraid of them. I'm not afraid of them. I value them. I appreciate them. I respect them. What needs to be done still needs to be done. So if they are watching, I'm not saying this because they may be watching or listening. They're probably not. They're probably getting on with their work. But if they are, yes, I do really appreciate them. But when you do wrong, I'm going to tell you what you're doing is wrong.
I like that. You're going to be blunt with it.
Oh, yeah.
Deborah, kindly wear the headset for me. I want us to do something real quick. Yeah.
It's been sanitized. I believe you guys.
Yeah, we did it.
Oh, I know you people.
You don't joke with it.
You don't joke with it.
Can you hear me? Can you hear my voice?
Yes.
Great. So you just spoke about your business partners and your workers. Maybe they're listening or they're not listening. Well, I have one guy who's listening. He actually called in. He wants to talk to us. Hello?
Hello.
Nobet, how you doing?
I'm good, bro.
Good to have you on the line,
Hey,
Charlie.
Nobet.
Nobet is an event organizer out here, of course, business partner for Deborah. He decided to join us on here to share a few words about, his experience with you. Nobet, bluntly, just as you always are, how difficult or easy is it working with Deborah?
I can't
really hear him.
She was hurting herself. It was a bet for me, but it became too hot. So two of us stepped out. And the first time I met Debbie, this is somebody I didn't even know who wanted to meet. The person that I called my friend stabbed me in the back. And this woman sitting in front of you stood her ground and carried me on her shoulders. People out there don't know Debbie. Debbie is. She's a spirit.
No, but you know what? We're losing you. The line is breaking. We're going to try and get back in touch with you. But yeah, basically, that was surprise. Nobet just decided to call in and say, you know what, I want to really speak to. But from the few that I heard, I think Nobet is quite happy working with you. What are some of the things you've learned in your entrepreneurial journey you'd like to share with the young ones coming up in events, coordination, and event organization in general?
Okay, so one of the things that I learned in my entrepreneurial journey that I would like to share with you young people listening is, let me put event coordination aside. I used to even take photographs at some point. I was one of the first female photographers of our time. So let me put all that aside. As a young person embarking on an entrepreneurial journey, it's hard work. I'm not going to say it's easy. especially if you want to succeed, especially if you want people to know your name, especially if you want people to say that it is because of me that this was able to happen. It was because of me that I was able to achieve this. If you want to be that person, you need to be ready to work twice as hard as everybody else. People will have opinions. Your friend, you're going to lose. Oh, one thing growing up, I lost friends. I lost friends. People laughed at me that, hey, now there she's running around carrying tables and chairs for people. You know, it became like, hey, from us going to people's events to you being the one that was now laying tables and looking for chairs for somebody to sit on. And some of my friends couldn't see themselves doing that. But for me, it was like, well, God has said to me that my business is here to stay. If I have to dirty myself to get it done, I will dirty myself to get it done. If I have to take off the wig and put the designer bag aside to get it done, I will. Because for me, you know, one thing I believe is that this opportunity has been given to me by God, and I need to diligently deliver. And that is one of the things that frustrates me when we are always praying for a job. But when we get the job,
now we act as
now we act like we are. It's like we're doing somebody a favor by coming to work. We come late. Our attitude towards work. But then, if you remember that person during the interview, they were on time.
Yep.
They were speaking with so much positivity and assurance. Now they have the job. When you ask them to do something,
excuses over excuses.
Excuses, a very late, I will fire you in a heartbeat because this is not what I bargained for. Always remember that when you were praying for that job or when you were praying for that opportunity to be an entrepreneur, you actually went into a bargaining opportunity with God.
Yep.
So he has given you the job. Now you need to hold your side of the bargain. Because you said to God, God, I need a job. Now he's giving you the job. Do it and do it very well. So with me, no matter, and that is something that no matter what it is, and no matter how small the job is, or even when you ask me, Debbie, can you help me with this? It's either a yes or a no. But if it's a yes, I put in my all.
120.
Because I said yes. Once you say yes to something, you put in your all, even if you're not getting anything out of it. Because it is the multitude of this yes and putting it your all that builds on your experience to be a better person anyway in that field. I didn't become so good at what I do from the one yes. It's taking time. Up to now, there are errors. Up to now, I'm not saying
You're still
that I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I'm still and you know, the more you do, the more you find different avenues to do better. The more you find opportunities to do better. You know, maybe first I started with decor. Then I realized that, wait, hold on, I can do coordination. Then I realized I could do planning. Then I realized I can actually train people. And all these things are also generating income for me. Then I'm being called to come and speak in Nigeria. Then I'm being called to come and speak here and there, you know, and it's all building on my exposure. Look, even coming here today for me, I was, a lot of people might say, oh, she's big now, she's on radio. For me, ask your rep who contacted me. When he contacted me, after we said yes, we sent a letter to say thank you.
Yes, I saw that. And I must commend you on that. I think you hold the record for that. It's usually after we do the interview, but you even saying yes came with an appreciation letter, and I'm like, wait, are we that serious in here? Yeah,
so in that one, I would give, again, when people do the right thing, you must appreciate it. So my new administrative lady, Lillian, she was like, Madam, let's send them a thank you letter. So she typed it, I read it, signed it off, she sent it. And then I said, thank you for the opportunity. Because this opportunity, there's one thing that I've always said, that if I need to be known for just one thing in my life, I want to be known for creating an impact. I want to impact other people's lives. And being here today is an opportunity for me to impact the lives of the listening youth. So for me, you have given me an opportunity to serve my purpose.
Yep.
And for that, I must be thankful. So I'm thankful to YFN for giving me the opportunity to impact the lives of the youth out there who are not sure what they want to do with their lives, or they've started their small gigs here and there. Guy, if it's a small gig, it's a small gig today, but in 11 years to come, like me, it's going to be a big gig, and they'll be calling your YFM to come and share your story.
I like that. Yeah, you'll get to that point where you'll be called to come on Wiley the Boat series and share your life experience with the people. Deborah, in the course of your career as an event organizer, I mean, with Think Mahogany, what gig, let's use the word gig, I think it's a technical word, what gig would you describe as your most fascinating? I mean, a gig that came to you and then you went back home and you're like, am I really doing this job? Did this person really call me? Maybe you can decide not to mention names, but just give us a clue.
And
one that sent you in shocks. You're like, okay, did I really get a call to do this?
Oh my God, I'm even excited thinking about it because I love the guy so much. So ᴛʀᴜsᴛᴇᴅ's 70th birthday.
Wow.
Think Mahogany on planning, decor, and coordination. Oh, wow. I love JJ. I love JJ Rollins. May his soul rest in peace. Never in my life did I think that one day I'll be doing JJ Rollins' birthday party. You know, growing up, I was in Girls Guide. And I remember when the Girl Guide founder died, they did a funeral for her here in Ghana as well. And JJ Rollins was there. And you know, the guys, they were giving everybody flowers to give to different people. And for some reason, the flower that was
meant for Rollins.
Was meant for, and there was this girl in my class. This girl, Doreen, they are bullies in everybody's class. Doreen Boache, she's not in America.
You called her out?
Yes, I called her Doreen. She was like, let's swap flowers. And at the time, I hadn't even seen that it was. So when she said, let's swap flowers, before I looked,
and you realized
and I was like, no, it's for Rollins. Then I'm thinking, why would I want to swap flowers? But you see, the fact that she thinks that she can even ask me to swap flowers without me thinking, that's a bully right there. So I was like, no, I'm not going to swap my flowers with you. And yeah, the time came, I gave him the flowers. When I got home, I said, Mommy.
I gave flowers to Rollins.
I remember I was in class 5. I gave flowers to Rollins. Like, we have to watch it to come on TV.
Wow.
So my first TV moment was me on the it was GBC News Hour giving flowers to JJ Rollins. That was my
years after
and
that.
And years
after his birthday.
I'm doing his 70th birthday.
You met him personally?
Of course, I even took a picture.
You took a picture with him.
Yeah.
What was the conversation about? I mean, beyond you organizing, what do you remember about the conversation you had with him?
You know, what I remember the most was the humility of him and his family members, his daughters. So humble. They speak so very few words. I remember I was dealing with Santua. So it was a Santua I was dealing with from the first meeting. And so she was such a lady. You know, and I'm thinking, you know, with people, I was assuming again that from such a family, a powerful family, you know, they would have some sort of air around them, and even before you speak, you need to. But they were so
down to earth.
Down to earth. They allowed you to work. A lot of people never allow you to work, even though it's your profession. They think they need to tell you how to do your work. They will never allow you to operate in the way that you know how to deliver the service that you can deliver and beyond. But she allowed me, and she would ask for opinions. They were never too opinionated. They asked for opinions. There were lots of pleases and thank yous. You know, those things, those little things, the pleases, the thank yous, the I'm sorries, things that people find it very difficult to express, you know. So they allowed me to operate. They didn't overstep their boundary. Even if they were paying for a service, they were not controlling or commanding. They trusted the brand, you know. And that's another thing I tell people: build such a brand that people will trust the brand. I want people to trust my brand. I don't want people to trust Debra-Jane or Lillian or Senna or Comfort or the people
trust
I work
the brand.
Trust Think Mahogany. So even if I sent Lillian or I sent Senna, look at Think Mahogany. Forget Lillian and Senna. Trust the brand, because I am working this hard because I'm believing that 40 years from now, even if I'm dead and gone, the brand will be there, you know. So yeah, for me it was a humility, and he was, for Rollins himself, even though the party was for him, he didn't even make it seem it was about him. And that's another thing. He wasn't walking around feeling so pumped. Like, you know, he was just relaxed in the crowd.
Walking about, asking if everybody's okay.
Do you know, he was even telling us to hurry up, that he wants to go because, and his wife made a joke that made me laugh. It was a person because it was his birthday, and apparently there was a queue of people at home waiting to say hi. And apparently he loves that. He loves the fact that
people will come to him.
He was
a people's person.
He was a people's person, and it could be anybody. It could be the security next door that was trying to come and wish him happy birthday. It could be the cocoa seller down the road that wants to come and wish him happy. He wanted to move out of that luxurious environment so fast to go and be with the people at home. And he kept saying, are we not done yet? I mean, First Lady, that time, Auntie Becky, the president's wife, was at his table, and I was like, First Lady, can you ask them, are we not done? Because I would like to go home.
And this was his birthday.
It was his birthday party, but we were all laughing. And his wife said, and then we all laughed about it. So yeah, they were very, very nice. You know, it was nice to be in that environment. And if more of our leaders were like that, were able to make people relate to them and feel comfortable around them, I think our society would be much different.
Deborah, do you ever have plans of retiring from events, organization, and all that, like always, sitting back at some point?
Yes, I always do say that I don't see myself actively telling groomsmen, come on, enter the car now, you need to go. You need to go. Bridesmaids, please, telling the bridesmaids, it's not about you, it's about the bride. So can we please, you know, get it together and give. I don't see myself doing that for more than 10 years from now. That is why I also put a lot of effort in my social
media.
No, not social media, my social services, social impact. That is why I'm putting a lot of effort in Zero Hunger, because I see myself 10 years from now not being so actively involved in events, but the brand being there. However, I'll be more involved in Zero Hunger Ghana, in social impact projects, and I've even started this series on Instagram called Impact Your World with Debra-Jane. I do it every Monday at 3 p.m. And Impact Your World with Debra-Jane is a 1-hour show on Instagram where I speak to different guests on topics around impact. I believe I have a calling for the season, which started in April last year when COVID hit. And that calling was impact the lives of the people around you and pray and support your friends. So in my quest to deliver on that, I have this impact show every Monday, and I have different guests that come. Stoneboy has been on there, Jocelyn Duma has been on there, Honorable Oyelita has been on there, Honorable Sam George has been on there. So very diverse.
Personalities.
Norbert has been on there.
Eskin will be on there.
Eskin will be on there. The lady in the studio, the photographer in the studio will be on there. So we talk about. So I bring people every Monday to speak about things around impact, to impact the lives of people, to make people want to go out there and live their purpose and achieve. So that's something I've started doing. So I spend a lot of time
on your social work,
on my social work as well. Right now I'm trying to get the right balance. I've done a lot for Think Mahogany. I'm trying to build on my social impacts project to get there as well. Then I can hand over Think Mahogany as a brand to capable hands to move, and then I'm going to move Zero Hunger. Right now, Zero Hunger, I'm doing it regionally. It needs to grow nationally. It needs to grow across the continent.
Now that you've mentioned Zero Hunger, let's touch on it. Where did the inspiration come from? How long have you been running this?
I've been doing Zero Hunger Ghana. I founded Zero Hunger Ghana in 2018. And it really started from, you know what, I dislike seeing food go to waste. Even yesterday, I was having an argument with my niece, my cousin's daughter at home, because I found old. I know. Let me now
break it down.
Let me let people know that I'm an Aigbe woman, and in my household, banku is the is the menu for every day.
A day, every meal.
Every day. If my mother doesn't eat banku, she hasn't eaten. You can give her jollof and everything else. She'll still tell you, today I'm not eating properly. She'll say, I'm not eating properly. So what makes it proper is the banku. So I'm cleaning the kitchen and I see banku with mold on it in a flask. So of course I get upset. So when she comes back from school, I'm like, and she was named after me, by the way, but they call her Deborah.
She kept the original.
Yeah, I said, Deborah, why is the banku there? She's looking at my face. I said, when did this banku get there? And she's like, oh, when Davi last, my mom is called Davi, when Davi last, and Deborah. So right now we have so much food that some are going to waste, growing mold. When there's some people who have even eaten today, and she's looking at my face like in shock. So this is what made me start Zero Hunger. I really didn't like the fact that after events, so much food was put to waste. Some were being put in bins. The waiters, everybody is eating, but they are still packing food to go home, and you know that by the time they get home, the food have probably gotten spoiled along the way, or they'll go and just give it to the dog. Not to say that the dog doesn't deserve the food, because even when my dog died last week, I was very heartbroken for the whole week.
Sorry.
So that, for me, it wasn't that. For me, it was, if all the guests have eaten, all the vendors have eaten, why don't we give the leftovers to people who haven't eaten today? So that is how it started.
That's what started.
So I would speak to the caterer, and I'll speak to obviously the event host, the person whose event is, and I'll politely ask, is it okay to pack this food for maybe the street kids in Jamestown or the Kayaye's? Is it okay to give it to them? A lot of them, funny enough, will be like, oh yeah, sure. Why not? So I'll quickly go and buy takeaway packs with my own money, pack the food and take it. So that's how it started. So I used to give over. I just wanted to fight food wastage. I just didn't like seeing food going to waste. And I wanted the food to go to the right people who need it. So that's how it started. I would take leftover food. And then some of the caterers that run restaurants, when like Fiona, I'll mention her name because she actually really helped me. Fiona Foods had a restaurant in Agbogba, and she used to do Sunday buffets. So when she doesn't sell all the food, instead of maybe freezing it to resell, she'll call me and I'll drive from Teshinungwa there. Me and there was one lady who used to be my first volunteer. Now I have about 30 volunteers.
Oh, great.
By the very first volunteer, she would go with me, or sometimes she would go alone. We would buy takeaway packs, pack the food, and go and give it. So that's, and then the people in the community started recognizing me. They started saying, oh, this is the lady. So then I started adding more things, water, provisions, drinks. So it started growing. And then when it was my friends' birthdays and they wanted to have a party, I'm like, no, don't have a party. Give me the money. Let me use it to cook and go and give it to the poor. So people like Jocelyn, like her birthday, she would say, okay, how many food packs do you want me to buy? And then she would say, okay, let's buy 500 packs of food or 1,000 packs of food or whatever. And so then my friends started supporting, and they would give me their birthday celebration money. I'll order food from people like Lia's Kitchen, ᴛʀᴜsᴛᴇᴅ, and they'll cook the jollof. And one thing I've always said is that if I'm going to give somebody who hasn't eaten today food, I want to give them food that I can eat, not just any food. So I would order good food, proper jollof, quality food. And then they started calling me Mama Jollof.
The lady that doesn't compromise when it comes to jollof.
Yeah, so
it has to be the best.
It has to be the best. So so that's how. Then I was like, okay, I need to register this thing properly and do something out of it. And then it started growing. So now it's gone beyond just giving out food to people in the community to actually coming up with sustainable projects that they can get food out of. Like last year, I did a farm, an organic farm for an autism center in Tema, Hope Setters Autism Center. Yes. So in their backyard, I was able to fund, based on people's donations, I was able to fund an organic garden at the back where each child at the center, each child living with autism at the center has a farm bed with organics of cabbage, minced leaves, carrots, and all of that. Because, children living with autism need to eat organic foods only, not processed foods. So now they're able to feed on the food that we are growing for them in their backyards.
Yeah.
And also, it is also an activity for them. So it's part of their skill development. They go and water.
They water,
They
clean the bed.
the bed, and when it was harvest time, they were so involved in the excitement. And then after harvesting, obviously the beds were bare. One of the ladies from the Autism Center, Alice Mamagan, who is the ambassador for Ghana Autism Ambassadors, was like, I asked, so Alice, don't they miss not having their farm? And she goes, funny enough, they do. They go there and look at it and then come to class. They're probably thinking, where is it? So again, I sent over some new black soil, and so I asked, do we have enough seeds to do the next replant? And there was. So for me, that is a lot of satisfaction. That I've been able to build a farm for these children, and they're living off it. They're learning from it. They are watching it. For me, that brings me a lot of pleasure. So now I'm moving to just giving out food. And when COVID first came, we were giving out a lot of water, food, sanitizers, masks, and all of this. But now it's more about doing sustainable projects for vulnerable communities. So that is it for me for now.
It for you for
I
now.
believe in good food for all. So yeah.
And I read there's another project you're doing with a group of people in the UK.
Stars.
Yes.
I've been doing stars for 14 years or more now. So it was one of the first charity I got involved in. It was co-founded with my friend Tina, who is still in the UK. And it started as providing support for people living with HIV/AIDS. A lot of people would think that, wait, you don't have HIV, Tina doesn't have HIV, what's your concern with people with HIV? But Tina did social work as her first degree, and she came to Ghana to do some research, and she realized that a lot of people in Milton Keynes are living with HIV but do not have support, and the stigma and all of that. So she wanted to work on that, and she asked me if I would support her. So it was really Tina's idea that I was like, okay, fine, I'll do it with you. And like I said to you, if I say yes, I go all out, yes. And if I say no, it's like even if you ask me to make a cup of tea for you, if I say no, it's no. Nothing will make me do it. But if I say I'm coming to make Eskin a cup of tea, then I'll do it all my heart. You will love it. So yeah. So we started with HIV, and then we added hepatitis, and then the final thing we had added, which is very, very close to my heart, is mental health. We added providing support for people infected and affected with mental health. And when I say affected, is a lot of people are living with people with mental health issues, and so they themselves need support. Yeah. It is very difficult to live with somebody who has a mental health problem. So we decided to add mental health. Tina's brother committed suicide at a very young age because he was having some mental health challenges. Okay. He just finished university, so he had actually gone through school, finished university, and that year he committed suicide. And only because he had mental problems. Okay. My older brother, the guy that I said was my number one fan from childhood, he has been battling with mental health since 2019. So I was his carer at some point. Living with somebody with mental health is really not a joke. So that is where my passion for helping people, so that's where that came, and I'm still doing it.
But how's the support system like? You mentioned that out here in Ghana, the Hunger Project, you have friends, donating food and that. Finance-wise, money, it's tough, right?
It's very tough. Most of my income goes into that. That is even if I have an income. Like, since COVID hit last year, the event industry has just been like a shutdown. So a lot of every little money that I get, once I pay my staff and pay my bills, really, what else
The
is
rest
there?
goes into that.
Yeah, I'm not a party person. I hardly go out and all of that anyway. So, I mean, at the moment, I see it as an investment. I see it as an investment. I'm investing a lot of my loose cash or a lot of my income into the Zero Hunger Ghana project because I know one day I'll benefit from it.
Oh, yes.
So for now, a lot of my money goes into even coming up with systems, coming up with policies, the way even to register for. And I was having an argument last week with my bank about this. So first of all, you open a bank account for a charity. And the bank is charging you. So I put a 2,000 cedis check in there that was donated to me from a school in Tema. So these children raised money and the school gave me a check. And I used this check to open a bank account. I go now, this 2,000 check is now like 300 cedis. And I'm thinking, what happened to the money? Service charge. How do you even charge
I think they should have
an NGO? It's not like, I mean, you can charge Think Mahogany, it's fine, but you don't charge Zero Hunger Ghana. The money that these children have put together to donate to you, if it was cash, I would probably not have put it in the bank. I would have used it. But it was a check, so I put it in the bank, and now the money is gone. It's been taken as. So I had an issue with that. And then I need to get the social service certificate.
as well.
When I registered, they told me 1,000 cedis, you get your certificate. I'm still chasing this certificate. Now they're telling me to pay 3,600. How did it jump from 1,000 cedis to 3,600 in a year? How? And this again is a charity. I am doing it to help the vulnerable. I'm not getting paid to do it. I'm not getting profit out of this. I am supporting the government by supporting the vulnerable. So why is the government making it so difficult for me? Where am I supposed to get 3,600 from?
I think a few things must be reviewed. Whoever's listening, the policymakers, they should do something about this because what it does is it discourages people from doing these things. It's a load shedding activity for the government. If we are involved in this, it means less work for them. And so they should try and make it a little bit easier for all of us, make things happen. You mentioned COVID. I mean, it slowed the industry down. But between you and I, do you think there's hope? Are we going to bounce back? Events, are we going to have it like it used to be when things are done?
When you look on social media, people are still having events. Like Saturday, I was on Instagram on Saturday, and I'm like, wait, one, didn't the government say no events? Okay, forget about that one then. Two, where is everybody's mask? What is going on? And yesterday it was my friend's birthday in the UK, so I called her, and then she goes, things are beginning to loosen up. UK, people have been in lockdown since last year.
Yeah.
People have not left their houses last year. And she said to me, from July, they are hoping to open things up again. Hopefully when they open things up, don't be another wave. And now that we have the vaccine and all of that, I got the vaccine as well. Hopefully that would allow us to go back to our ways, our normal time. So I'm hopeful that things will get. I'm confident that
will you ever get to a point where you organize an event for someone? Let's say you're supposed to handle a whole event. Will you get to a point where you start checking for the vaccination before you allow people in?
Oh yeah. Even
now,
now, I'm always like, I'm always like, first of all, where's your mask? Have you sanitized? And I've had COVID before. So even before, when I told people I got COVID, they were like, how did you get COVID? You're always maxed up.
Exactly.
So even upon all my masking business, upon all my sanitizing business, I still got COVID. And do you know how I got COVID? I collected somebody's power bank. I collected somebody and she had COVID and she didn't say it. So I collected her power bank to charge my phone. And now, once you get it, you're now trying to trace your steps. Like, how did I even catch this thing? And then I realized that after I touched it, I was rubbing my eye. So definitely that is how
that's why I got it.
So it's not just about masking and staying away from people. It's there little touching and things. But I'm very anti-COVID. And I'm always like, where's your mask? Have you washed your hand? So I can see myself saying, where is your vaccine card?
So yeah, that's what Deborah is going to do. Where's your vaccine card? What YFM is also doing, Global Media Alliance in partnership with the GTA and ACCRA Mall, we are entreating all and sundry to keep their mask on. And one of the things people do, where's my mask? They keep it beneath the nose. It's supposed to be up here.
Oh, yeah.
Your nose bridge. Protect yourself. Clean your hands. It's called Level Up, Wise Up. I tell people, if you're not wearing your mask, we are not on the same level. Yeah, you're not as smart as I am. Keep it up. Cover up. Make sure you mask up. You wise up. And then you level up. You know, make it happen.
This thing that you said actually reminded me. One time I was taking a picture with somebody and he was like, take off your mask for a change. I turned and I looked at him, wear yours for a change.
Wear your mask for a change.
Yeah.
Deborah, what do you do during your free time? All this sound like you barely have time for even yourself.
Yes.
Do you get time for yourself?
Hardly.
Hardly.
The honest truth is hardly. I hardly have time for myself. To make time for myself, I have to be intentional. I have to intentionally make time for myself, because if I want to just follow the flow of the day, it will be from 7 a.m. to like 4 a.m. work. So every time I've had to make time for myself, it will be an intentional time set for that. And that is the time that I would go to the spa or the salon or hang out with my friends. I like going out for dinners. So I like to go out for dinner because I feel like that's the only time I can actually catch up with somebody over a good meal. So yeah.
Do you have to switch your phone off when you are having your free time?
My phone is actually always on silent anyway, because the sound of the phone alone distracts my thoughts, and I don't like that. So yeah,
that's what you do. A few questions from our viewers. 0202222076. They can get yours in. Question in here from, I wrote it down earlier, from Felicia. She says she's an aspiring event organizer. Says, what makes a good event organizer?
What makes a good event?
I think a few things have been said, but just in a nutshell.
What makes a good event organizer? Professionalism. Putting your service delivery on top, making sure that you are delivering the service that you are being paid to deliver. That is what make you a good event organizer. Get trained. A lot of people, another thing, so there'll be somebody who got married this weekend, and because she planned her own wedding, after that she believes she's a wedding planner. She'll start planning her friends' weddings and all of that. No. You need to get trained to become a professional wedding planner. If you want to be an event organizer, get the right training. Maybe if you can't, at the moment, you can't afford to pay someone like Think Mahogany or Event Masterclass Ghana to get the training. Go on YouTube, read. People don't like to research. You know, discover yourself, invest in yourself, and that is where your diamonds are.
Messaging here from a number, she didn't add her name, but the number ends with 85. Says, today's interview is really for me. Thank you, wife. I'm loving Deborah in here. Big ups to her. Wish we could just be friends so I learn more from her. I think you can join her team. She will share her social media handles with us before the show ends. Another one in here from Joshua. Joshua says, Rev, she mentioned she's a Stoneboy fan.
Hey.
Somewhere. Did you talk about that anywhere?
Yes, I said
no, we didn't say that.
We did it, but I love Stoneboy. Everybody knows I love Stoneboy.
No, I think it was because you mentioned that Stoneboy had been on the Instagram show. All right, so
and
this
I
person,
did his wedding.
Yes, this person wants you to sing your favorite Stoneboy song. So I think you just have to pick which one you want.
Oh my God,
we'll play the instru for you.
Oh,
and
I
then,
can't sing.
Let's do it. I'll join you. I'll help you.
As for singing,
I will help you.
No. I don't have the voice.
Do the raga part. I'll do the singing part. Which of them?
What makes you think I can rap?
Which of them can you do?
The song that made me fall in love with Stoneboy is Hiya.
That one is not simple. That one is very easy. All we just have to say is Hiya.
But Stoneboy kills it all. All his songs,
all the
Putu,
time.
all of them.
So you can sing Putu. Anyways, a few things we can touch on. So someone wants to find out, what we spoke about before this was what makes an event organizer a good event organizer. Person wants to find out what makes an idea successful.
What makes an idea successful is when you put the idea to work. When you build on the idea. We are all full of ideas. We all have ideas. And the thing is, your idea is never unique to you. As you are thinking of the idea, a million other people are also thinking of the same idea. But the difference between you and that million people is you actually put your idea into work. And there'll be a lot of failures. So, and it's okay to embrace your failures. The more you fail, the sooner you get to your success story. So put your ideas to work. Fail. They will laugh at you, it's fine. You will lose money, it's fine. But the day will come where you will win.
Deborah, thank you so much for coming through. It was fun. I enjoyed every bit of it. I trust you enjoyed it as well.
Oh, I did.
We are not leaving without the Stoneboy song.
Please.
Can't just playing it. Which part can you sing?
I can't sing it now.
There you go. Oh, guys, it's been an awesome ride. Wiley the Board series. Deborah, before we leave, anything you'd like to add? Any final words to your listeners, your fans out there? Social media handles. You mentioned you're a very active person on social media.
Yes, I'm very active on social media. But look, I know I said I won't sing to this one, but listen to the words. That's my key. Whatever you do, you get higher. So please, just keep doing it. Just don't give up. And one of the reasons why I actually like Stoneboy is because he never gave up. From where he started, he keeps doing it, and that's another thing. I like Stoneboy not because of his music only. Like I said to you, I've always been a music fan. I love music. But I watched his story, where he started. Nothing made him stop along the way. The accident
didn't stop him.
His mother passing away. He kept pushing, He kept pushing. And now, Stoneboy being Stoneboy, he still hasn't stopped. Most of the international collabos, Stoneboy. And even Emily Saunders. Recently, I found a song of Stoneboy and Emily Saunders, and I was shocked. I'm like, how did Stoneboy even find Emily Saunders? Who even listens to Emily Saunders in Ghana?
She does.
I added in Ghana,
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, this guy, he's always going out there. The collabo, his mindset is beyond the Ghana borders. And as young entrepreneurs, that is how we should be thinking. We should be thinking global. I don't want to be a local champion. I don't want mahogany. People are hearing of mahogany in Accra, Kumasi, and I think I've arrived. No, I want to arrive in Dubai, America, Saudi Arabia.
For the big money, guys, just dream and think higher, man. And once you do that, things will work for you. But obviously, you have to put in work. I hope you're inspired by the story of Debra-Jane, CEO, Managing Director of one other thing.
Yes, please. Those on Instagram.
Yes.
Join my live every Monday, 3 p.m. The live is called Impact with Debra-Jane. At the moment, it's on my Think Mahogany page. So click at Think Mahogany, follow, and on Mondays, join in the live.
Yes, sir. One of these days, I should get you by. Producer, kindly work on this one. If I need a guest host, I feel Deborah will do a good job. You come and, you can do it, right? Come and who's the chauffeur? What happened? 45 after 11. Done and dusted. Wiley the Board series. Shouts going out to the production team. What's the can? Chris, Eddie Blaine, Edwin, Ganj, George, Team Digital, Lester, and Kali J. We're going higher.
Congratulations, you found the one station that plays Ghana's best urban music.
YFM.
Listen to YFM 107.9 Accra, 102.5 Kumasi, and 97.9 at Takoradi.